IBM wants to keep a close eye on the bottom line for their customers, so they're picking up Kubecost to make it happen. The startup helps people monitor their cloud spending by controlling and optimizing container usage. It helps avoid over-provisioning and also has API access to billing, which means customers get up-to-the-minute pricing for their deployments. The acquisition is specifically targeting FinOps teams. With more on this story, let's go to our cloud expert, Steven Dickens.
So thanks, guys. It's a really interesting acquisition for me. The way I describe it is a tuck-in. IBM has been in this space for a while. They've got Turbonomic, they've got Astana, they made the acquisition of Apptio with the cloudability stuff. I think where Rob Thomas, the SVP for software within IBM, is kind of taking this, and he hinted at some of this when we were at IBM Think earlier on in the year, is, and I'm trying to think of the right language, he's calling it automation. I don't think it's automation. I think he's right on the strategy. I don't think he's right on the term. So let me expand. If you look at IBM's assets, both now and once this acquisition closes and once the HashiCorp acquisition closes, IBM's going to have a portfolio both within its own software stack and within Red Hat that covers Ansible and HashiCorp from an automation perspective. It's going to have Cloudability, Turbonomic, Astana from a FinOps perspective. Obviously, this Kubecost. Then it's going to have assets within the OpenShift portfolio. I think where I see the trajectory of this over time is I see all those assets coming together into a holistic whole that it's going to give enterprises the ability to manage a cloud-native, microservices-based, hybrid multi-cloud environment. I just said a lot of buzzwords all in one sentence. So what does that mean? The ability to manage containerized applications, automate those, and be able to provide deep and rich FinOps functionality around that new structure. As we see the likes of VMware and what is now Broadcom move towards more a private cloud model, the ability to operate independently of cloud provider and provide that stack across the whole landscape is going to be the opportunity for IBM. There's a lot of integration work to be done there, but that broad vision of Hashi, Red Hat, some of the assets that IBM's got, I think is the interesting opportunity for me. It's going to be fascinating to see how Rob builds that out and how that operates. Are we going to see HashiCorp operate like Red Hat with this one with Kubecost? I think that's more an obvious tuck-in. I don't see them having to do organizational gymnastics with that. It's more an acquisition of capability. Interesting discussion of whether that where that fits, whether that goes into the kind of Apptio type space within IBM. I think it will do. Looking at some of the assets within OpenShift, there's a cost management component there. Will that get deprecated as they move to Kubecost? That's some of the roadmap work, and as this gets closer to closing, that's where I expect to be looking and getting briefings. But when I step back and look at this holistically, I think IBM's building a portfolio exactly where customers are moving to around containerized microservices and automation. And if they can pull off the integration of all these assets, they're going to be really well placed. So exciting times ahead for IBM. I think we're starting to see where the new IBM is going to be going over the next 5 to 10 years. Fascinating time. So I'll hand it back to you guys, but that's my take.